All right, folks, welcome back to Cheddar. Joining us now is David Altavilla, Editor-in-Chief at HotHardware, an online publication covering computer hardware and consumer electronics. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
All right, so you guys are clearly one of the big, we are looking ahead here to PAX Boston, short for Penny Arcade Expo, clearly one of the biggest gaming conferences that is out there. For any of our Cheddar viewers who may be otherwise unfamiliar, walk us through a little bit what it is about PAX that's so special to the gaming community, or perhaps what you personally may be most looking forward to this weekend.
Sure, my pleasure. Yeah, PAX East started way back in 2004 from a site called Penny Arcade, and PAX standing for Penny Arcade Expo. And it actually started a small, little show in Bellevue, Washington, and over the years grew exponentially, doubling in size to today, where there's a PAX West, there's a PAX East in Boston, there's even a PAX AU in Australia. And literally tens and hundreds of thousands of people will be go to these shows every year, and we'll be coming to the Boston PAX East show this weekend. We are definitely in a weekend state of mind here on Thursday. PAX starts tomorrow, and the Boston Convention Center is sold out. All kinds of different platforms are represented here, whether it be mobile gaming, consoles, desktops, you name it. Certainly PC gaming, which is near and dear to my heart, is going to be big at PAX East this year.
So PC gaming going to be big at PAX this year, obviously, as JD mentions, to Arcade Expo, but it makes me think about eSports, because that seems to be taking off everywhere with people playing these games in these huge arenas. Is PAX kind of like eSports, or are they more in competition?
Well, PAX is an expo. It's a trade show of sorts for gamers, and there's everything from panels there to, of course, the exhibit floor, as well as absolutely competitions and matches all over the place in the different halls of the show. And so you do absolutely have esports gaming going on, some competitions and tournaments there. But this is really an exhibit. There's lots of vendors that come in. Certainly all the big OEMs in the computing space, as well as the console space, will be there, from guys like Intel to AMD to Dell to Sony, Microsoft. All those guys will be there on the exhibit floor. But absolutely, it's a little bit of everything, celebrating gaming, and actually not only that, there's a retail presence as well. Many manufacturers actually sell product on the exhibit floor as well. So good stuff for sure all around.
Dave, let me ask you, it seems like this is very strategically timed, or at least well-timed, for the launch of Nintendo Switch, certainly one of the big storylines. So I'm curious how kind of the hype surrounding Nintendo Switch is going to impact the gaming community there this weekend. How big a part of the programming at PAX do you expect Nintendo Switch to be, or is that just kind of one of many of the things that a lot of people are going to show up there and be super excited about?
Yeah, that's one of many things. I think there's a big splash coming from AMD with its Ryzen processor, NVIDIA with its GeForce GTX 1080 Ti graphics card, but Nintendo Switch will be a huge presence there for sure. Nintendo's doing very well out of the gate. The first couple of days of sales of the Switch, it just went on sale recently, actually have exceeded the Wii U for Nintendo the Wii for Nintendo back when it first launched. And so the Switch has done very well out of the gate. Gamers have, on the downside, they've had a few, early growing pains with the console, sometimes controllers not linking up, and, maybe occasionally a few dead pixels in the screen, stuff like that for a new product that's maturing in the market. But there's some really impressive games, and Zelda's one of them. There's a new version of Zelda that's launched for the Switch, and it has been hailed with rave reviews for the platform, and not only for gamers, just returning back to Nintendo's roots in a retro sort of way, but the new look at the franchise, the Zelda franchise. So impressive stuff. This console is a hybrid console that you can pull out of its dock and take with you like a tablet, a gaming tablet with controllers on each side, and then you can dock it back at home and game on the big screen. And so take it anywhere with you as well as game at home. It's a pretty impressive little platform.
Well, it's good. Nintendo definitely needed a hit, as you mentioned. That Wii U barely moving 10 million units internationally. It's actually their worst selling console unit. But David, let's dive a little bit deeper into consoles in general, not just with the Nintendo Switch. I'm talking about Sony's PlayStation. I'm talking about Microsoft and Xbox. Microsoft actually coming out and saying that this new project, Scorpio, may be the last console that the company actually comes out with, because right now it's not about continuing to come out with these new consoles as we've seen with these hardware console makers over the past decade. It's all about this downloadable content. So is hardware, in terms of these actual consoles, kind of on its way out the door?
You know, that's a tough question. The console community is alive and very well. There's lots of console gamers out there. The Microsoft and Sony are moving lots of consoles. PlayStation VR on the virtual reality side has sold over 1 million units already, and it's only been 4 months out of the gate. So consoles are alive and well. Microsoft's vision, I think, encompasses a lot of different platforms. Windows 10, or in general, the Windows experience, they're trying to roll that out from the desktop to mobile to the console, so that's a uniform play. I think we'll see some additional innovation in consoles yet to come. I think a lot of that may come in different applications like VR. You've seen certainly some midlife kicker products now with Sony's PlayStation 4 Pro, which just ups the performance of the console a little bit, and then Microsoft with the Xbox One S. Same kind of thing here, not quite a performance lift that Sony actually delivered, but I think there's still some innovation to continue there, and consoles will be alive and well for a few more years. It's hard to say. We get lots of sound bites, and you can't trust them all.
All right, David, and finally, back to the PAX gaming event, obviously going on this weekend, kicks off tomorrow, like you said, in the city of Boston. If there are diehard gamers out there who cannot make their way to Beantown to be there for PAX, are there cool ways, either through gaming connectivity or social media, that people could still follow along, get the latest updates, find out what's going on, or at least somewhat stay connected to the events this weekend?
Certainly, yeah, absolutely. There's lots of live streaming going on. From all sorts of entertainment venues. There's actually concerts at the event as well. But you will see lots of live streams if you just hit the PAX site, and you can tune in a number of different ways there. Certainly, live streams are one of them. And we will have some coverage at HotHardware.com as well. And we do have a full review up at HotHardware.com of that new GeForce GTX 1080 Ti graphics card that was just launched today as well. Performance reviews were lifted on embargo by NVIDIA today, so that's an interesting thing to check out, and will also be a big presence at PAX.
All right, there we have it. Thank you so much. Definitely a lot to look forward to with that PAX Expo coming up. David Ottavilla, editor-in-chief at HotHardware. Thanks for joining us.